Magirus-Deutz is a German automotive company with an incredible history and remarkable achievements, which once allowed it to challenge such giants of the German automotive industry as Daimler-Benz and MAN. This German automaker from the small town of Ulm is known for its unique firefighting equipment, trucks that were considered some of the most successful on the market, air-cooled diesel engines that set the standard for reliability and efficiency, and buses that amazed and inspired. And finally, you'll find out which trucks helped Magirus-Deutz land the contract of the century with the Soviet Union, and why the company from Ulm was unable to maintain its independence in the automotive market. So don't leave our channel, hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and enjoy watching. The story of Magirus begins way back in 1866, when in the German town of Ulm, the commander of the volunteer fire brigade, Konrad Dietrich Magirus, founded his own company with a simple and straightforward name, Feuerwehr Requisitenfabrik CD Magirus, or in English, Konrad Dietrich Magirus Firefighting Equipment Factory. In its early years, the company specialized in manufacturing equipment for fire brigades. The company's product lineup included various pumps, hoses, and tanks. By the end of the 19th century, many unique designs had been developed. The first folding ladders, the first rotating ladders, and the first fire truck ladder. It was the Magirus Fire Equipment Factory that was among the first to adapt self-propelled vehicles for the needs of firefighters. In 1903, the first Magirus fire engine was mounted on a purchased chassis powered by a steam engine. By 1917, under the leadership of Heinrich Buschmann, the company began producing its own automotive chassis and engines, and launched its first truck, the 3CV-110, with a payload capacity of 3 tons. In 1919, the company from Ulm developed its first bus. This was the 2CV-110 Omnibus, which was built on the chassis of standard production trucks. By the mid-1920s, Magirus had expanded its lineup of trucks to include models with payload capacities ranging from 1 to 5 tons, equipped with NAC, Maybach, or Deutz engines. It was in the 1920s that the company developed its famous logo, a stylized letter M shaped like the spire of the Ulm Cathedral, which would adorn the radiator grills of Magirus trucks. In 1929, the company began producing its own diesel engine with a power output of 56 horsepower. A little later, the company from Ulm began producing its own double cabs, which were installed on Magirus fire trucks. As a result of the global economic crisis at the end of the 1920s and the beginning of the 1930s, Magirus found itself on the verge of bankruptcy. Due to unpaid loans, the management of the company was taken over by German banks, the company's largest creditors. In 1936, in order to overcome the crisis and remain competitive in the automotive market, Magirus merged with the Cologne-based engine manufacturer Humboldt-Deutz. 2 years later, in 1938, the merged company Magirus-Deutz became a subsidiary of the newly established Klöckner-Humboldt-Deutz Group, and all trucks produced from then on were named Magirus-Deutz. In the 1930s, the company launched production of the M-Series truck. This series included the Magirus M25, M27, and M30 models. Fire trucks and buses were built on the chassis of these trucks. By the late 30s, bus models like the Magirus M45 Omnibus and the Klöckner-Deutz Magirus OA330 Cospora liner bus had become popular. World War II completely changed all of the company's production programs and forced it to focus on manufacturing military products. During the 6 years of the war, Magirus-Deutz produced about 20,000 military trucks, 2,000 half-track vehicles, and 12,000 RSO track tractors. There was also some interesting experimental military equipment. In 1940, at the request of the Wehrmacht, Magirus built several self-propelled assault ladders, which were designed on the chassis of Panzerkampfwagen 4 tanks. The ladder itself was installed in place of the tank's rotating turret. This kind of specialized equipment was intended for infantry assaults on tall buildings. By the end of the war, the Magirus factory had been heavily damaged by Allied air raids. However, after the war ended, production was restored fairly quickly. The factory in Ulm continued producing the pre-war S3000 truck. It was on this model that a diesel engine with air cooling was installed for the first time, which would later bring the company major orders and fame. Over many years of operation, Magirus-Deutz produced an entire line of similar diesel engines, with anywhere from 2 to 12 cylinders. Since 1948, almost all Magirus-Deutz trucks have been equipped with air-cooled engines, which were more efficient when operated in low-temperature conditions. They became something of a trademark for the company. In 1951, the company from Ulm released new models of the S-Series trucks. Because of their small, rounded hoods with a slanted radiator grille, these vehicles earned the nickname brick-nosed. The first to join the updated S-Series was the 90-horsepower Sirius S3500 model with a payload capacity of 3.5 tons. Next came a whole range of trucks with planetary names, the Magirus-Deutz Saturn with a payload capacity of 5.5 tons and the Jupiter with 7.5 tons. The heaviest in the series was the Uran truck with a payload capacity of 16 tons. Under the hood, it housed a V12 diesel engine with a displacement of 16 liters and a power output of 255 horsepower. At the same time, cab-over-engine Pluton trucks were being developed, featuring similar powertrains. By the end of the 60s, Magirus had conquered not only Europe but also many other countries around the world. Production of these trucks under license was established in Egypt and South Africa. Assembly lines for Magirus production were opened at factories in Argentina, Congo, China, Brazil, Chile, Iran, and Thailand. At the same time, the company continued to develop its bus manufacturing, which was centered in the city of Mainz. The post-war bus models of the late 40s were still built on the chassis of standard Magirus trucks, particularly the popular post-war updated S-Series. The Magirus-Deutz 03500 bus model, the company built its first bus with a rear-mounted engine in 1952. This was the Magirus-Deutz 06500 model. The new bus didn't have the traditional, already familiar hood of that time and attracted passengers with its spacious interior and large panoramic windows. A distinctive design feature of these vehicles was the curved glass roof panels, which gave passengers an incredible panoramic view during their trips. A somewhat smaller bus model, the Magirus-Deutz 03500H, was built in a similar style. In 1958, a new bus model with the company's signature planetary name, the Magirus-Deutz Saturn II, was released in Mainz. In 1964, the company changed its bus designation system. From then on, instead of planetary names, codes with the letter M from Magirus were used, combined with numbers and letters. Since then, the 12-meter Saturn II was called the Magirus-Deutz M150L. In 1968, the company launched a new series of 12-meter Magirus-Deutz 170 S11H buses featuring a significantly different design dominated by straight body lines. These design features fully complied with the new standards adopted by the newly established German organization responsible for standardizing bus production in Germany. The buses were equipped with inline 6-cylinder diesel engines with air cooling, producing 150 horsepower. In 1978, the company from Ulm launched the production of the Magirus-Deutz M2000 intercity buses. Production also began for the short buses Magirus-Deutz R80 and Magirus-Deutz R81. The 60s were some of the most successful years for Magirus-Deutz. Orders were increasing, production was expanding, and new factories were opening. Magirus was able to compete on equal footing with such German automotive giants as MAN and Daimler-Benz, holding about 20% of the domestic German truck manufacturing market. However, with the start of the 70s, things at Magirus-Deutz took a sharp turn for the worse. Competition in the automotive market began to intensify, and after building a new plant in Ulm, the company's debt burden increased. But perhaps the most devastating blow to the steady growth not only of Magirus, but of the entire global automotive industry was the oil embargo imposed by the Arab countries, members of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries (OPEC), in October 1973, following another Arab-Israeli war, which became known as the Yom Kippur War. The price of oil literally quadrupled in just a month, jumping from $3 to $12 per barrel. This situation caused a sharp collapse in new car sales, especially those with large displacement engines. To somehow stay afloat, many companies began to reconsider their production programs. A real lifesaver for Magirus-Deutz was a contract signed on October 2, 1974, with the Soviet Foreign Trade Organization Avtoexport for the supply of more than 10,000 trucks. This agreement was officially named Project Delta, In Germany, this contract was called a deal of the century. According to this agreement, Magirus-Deutz committed to delivering to the Soviet side by the end of 1976 9,500 heavy dump trucks and flatbed trucks, about 1,000 tractors, loaders, and other heavy construction equipment on Magirus chassis. The total value of the contract was about 1.1 billion Deutsche Marks. These trucks were intended to be used in the construction of the Baikal-Amur mainline, a project the Soviet government resumed work on in July 1974. This was a project that had been put on hold back in Stalin's time, a plan to build a railway route connecting the Baikal region with cities in the Far East. This railway branch was supposed to serve as a northern duplicate of the Trans-Siberian Railway, which ran along the Chinese border and was extremely vulnerable in the event of a possible war with China. A project like this required a large number of workers and material resources, especially heavy construction equipment, which had to operate in extremely challenging climatic and geographic conditions in permafrost and low winter temperatures. Trucks equipped with liquid-cooled engines were hardly suitable for operating at -45 degrees. That's why the Soviet Union turned its attention to the Magirus-Deutz company, which was known for its trucks with air-cooled diesel engines that could operate at temperatures as low as -57. At first, they considered buying Tatra trucks, which were equipped with similar air-cooled diesel engines. But the Czech company didn't have the necessary production capacity to manufacture more than 10,000 trucks in such a short time. So the contract with Magirus became the only option. Already in January 1975, the first batch of contracted Magirus trucks was sent to the USSR. At the construction of the BAM, the trucks were used for earthworks during the formation of the railway embankment and were also involved in transporting various construction materials. In off-road conditions and low temperatures, the vehicles demonstrated their high work efficiency. Besides that, working with a Magirus was much more comfortable than driving any Soviet truck of that time. All Magirus trucks supplied to the USSR under the contract with Avto Export were painted orange. There were two models: the 3-axle Magirus 290 D26 truck with a 6x4 wheel configuration, and the 2-axle Magirus 232 D19 truck with a 4x2 wheel configuration. Both vehicles were export versions of the famous Magirus bonneted truck lineup, which were known as the Baubullen, or construction bowls. The 3-axle trucks were supplied both with a wooden flatbed platform and as dump trucks with a 14-ton payload equipped with an 11 cubic meter quarry-type body without a rear tailgate. These trucks were used for quarry operations or for transporting bulk materials. The 2-axle trucks were also equipped with a dump body, but with a lower payload capacity of 10 tons. The Magirus 290 was equipped with a 10-cylinder V-type Deutz diesel engine with air cooling, a displacement of 14.7 liters, and a power output of 290 horsepower. The 2-axle Magirus 232 truck had a slightly smaller power unit, a Deutz V8 diesel with air cooling, a displacement of 11.3 liters, and a power output of 232 horsepower. Both models were equipped with a 6-speed manual ZF transmission. In the Magirus 290 and 232, aside from the engines and the number of axles, most of the components and assemblies were standardized, including the 3-seat all-metal cabs, which stood out for their neat rectangular hoods and spacious interiors with large panoramic windshields. The only minor difference was really just the length of the hood. On the 3-axle model, it was a bit longer. Magirus cabs had excellent thermal and sound insulation, making them ideal for working in harsh climate conditions. The efficient heating system was especially helpful during Siberian winters, providing comfortable working conditions even in the harshest frosts. Cab heating was provided by 2 independent Webasto heaters, which ran on diesel fuel and were equipped with a separate 2.5-liter tank. A distinctive design feature of the BAM Magirus trucks was the vertical air intake pipes, which ran upward along the front pillars of the cab. This design feature was a necessity since most of the trucks operated in tough off-road conditions with a lot of dust in the air. The truck's braking system was drum type with pneumatic drive. The vehicle suspension was dependent using semi-elliptical leaf springs. The rear suspension of the 3-axle trucks was of the bogie type. The Magirus 290 reached a top speed of 73 km per hour. The 3-axle truck consumed 26 liters of fuel per 100 kilometers. The smaller Magirus-232 model could accelerate up to 77 kilometers per hour. At the same time, its fuel consumption was significantly lower, 20 liters per 100 kilometers. Both trucks were equipped with an efficient power steering system, which made the driver's work much easier in challenging road conditions. In addition to the BAM and the oil fields of western Siberia, Magirus trucks were also used during mineral extraction on the Kola Peninsula and in northern Kazakhstan. The contract with the USSR for the supply of trucks helped Magirus-Deutz become the second largest German truck manufacturer. In 1975, about 70% of the equipment produced by the company was exported. In November 1974, Klöckner-Humboldt-Deutz handed over its subsidiary Magirus-Deutz to the management of the Italian car manufacturer Fiat. And already on January 1, 1975, Magirus-Deutz became part of the newly established international automotive company Iveco, which also included Fiat with its Italian and foreign divisions. Already as part of Iveco, in 1975, Magirus-Deutz launched its series of medium-duty cab-over trucks, the Magirus-Deutz MK, middle class, into production. It included 14 models with payload capacities ranging from 3 to 9 tons, equipped with air-cooled diesel engines, producing between 87 and 168 horsepower. Until 1982, all trucks were still produced under the Magirus-Deutz brand. But starting in 1982, the new name Iveco appeared on the vehicle's radiator grills. The use of the Magirus-Deutz brand for trucks and buses was discontinued. The only production that still retains a reference to this company in its name is the development and manufacture of various firefighting equipment. Thus, after making a big loop through time, the company returned to its roots, established by its founder, Konrad Dietrich Magirus.